I, male, 34. Think my wife Stephanie, female 32, might be cheating on me and I honestly don't know what to do. We've been married for 6 years and things used to be really good between us, like really good. We were that couple that everyone said was perfect together, which I guess should have been the first warning sign or whatever. For context, I guess, we live in this nice neighborhood in a house that we honestly can't afford. Her parents, Richard and Diane, have been helping us with the mortgage payments, $2,800 a month, for the last 3 years. They're super conservative, wealthy business owners who have always had these crazy high expectations for Stephanie. They're coming to visit for our anniversary next month, and I'm kind of freaking out about all of this. I work from home as a software developer, which works well for me because I have pretty bad social anxiety. Stephanie's always pushing me to get help, but she also likes that I make good money working from home. I inherited my dad's vintage car collection when he passed. I spend weekends restoring them in our garage. Stephanie used to get so annoyed about this, but weirdly, she hasn't said anything about it for the past few months. Actually, she seems totally fine with it now, which is strange when I think about it. Anyway, Stephanie works as a marketing executive at this fancy firm downtown. She's been pushing for this big promotion for like a year now. Her boss, Tyler I think his name is, keeps telling her she's next in line. So here's the thing. About 3 months ago, Stephanie suddenly decided she wanted to take pottery classes on Thursday evenings. She said it was something she'd always wanted to do and needed her time for a creative outlet, which would be fine, I guess. Except Thursday used to be our date night for like the first 4 years of our marriage. We'd always go out to dinner, maybe see a movie, whatever, but she just replaced it. And I didn't really say anything because I didn't want to be that controlling husband who doesn't let his wife have hobbies. But there's some weird stuff happening that's making me suspicious. 1, she always dresses up really nice for pottery class. Like, she wears makeup and perfume. Who wears perfume to get covered in clay? 2, she hasn't brought home a single piece of pottery. Not one. In 3 months. When I asked about it, she said they were all still being fired, or didn't turn out right, or whatever. 3, when I ask how class went, she gives these super vague answers like, oh, it was good, making progress, but never any actual details. 4, she's always in this really good mood on Friday mornings, like extra affectionate and stuff. I guess that shouldn't be a bad thing, but it feels off somehow. Last week I was paying the credit card bill, I handle our finances, and noticed charges at this fancy restaurant and a hotel bar on Thursdays. When I asked her about it, she got all defensive at first, but then claimed it was class outings, and they all go for drinks after class. I mean, maybe, but it feels weird. The thing that really got to me happened 2 weeks ago. Her friend Andrea came over for lunch on Saturday and mentioned seeing Stephanie at the Westlake Hotel bar on Thursday night. Before Andrea could say anything else, Stephanie practically knocked over her wine glass, interrupting and changed the subject super fast. It was so awkward. At first, I thought maybe she was planning some kind of surprise for our anniversary next month. Like maybe she's not taking pottery at all and is planning something else. But that doesn't explain the hotel bar or the way she acted with Andrea. I tried to bring it up casually a few days ago by suggesting I could drop by her pottery class sometime. She tensed up right away and said the studio doesn't allow visitors because it disrupts the creative process. When I suggested waiting until the end of class, she got really irritated and asked why I didn't trust her and why I was questioning her about this. I backpedaled right away. I hate confrontation, and said I was just interested in her hobby. She softened up after that and promised she'd bring something home soon. But then later that night, I noticed she changed the password on her phone. She's never done that before. We've always known each other's passwords in case of emergency, her words. I feel like such an asshole for suspecting her of anything. She's my wife. We've been together for 8 years, dating plus marriage, but something is definitely off and it's driving me crazy. I've been thinking about following her next Thursday to see where she actually goes. I know that's probably a violation of trust or whatever, but I just need to know. If she's really taking pottery classes, then I'm just being paranoid and I can work on my trust issues. But if she's not, part of me doesn't even want to know the truth. Her parents are going to be here in a month for our anniversary, and they're already not my biggest fans. If something is going on, I don't know how I'll keep it together around them. I barely slept last night thinking about all this. Am I crazy? Am I just being paranoid? Should I follow her on Thursday or just confront her directly? Edit, thank you all for the comments. To clarify a few things people have been asking about. 1. No, we don't have access to each other's location. We used to share our locations, but she turned that off about 4 months ago, saying it drained her battery too much. Didn't think much of it at the time. 2. Someone asked if I could look at the Pottery Studio website. I did try to find it online, but realized I don't actually know the name of the place. When I asked her, she hesitated before saying, Creative Clay Works, but when I looked it up later, the only place with that name is like 45 minutes away in the opposite direction from where she goes. 3. A few people mentioned checking her texts. We've always had an open phone policy, but since she changed her password, I can't. And asking to see her phone now would just start a huge fight. Edit 2. I've been thinking about what a lot of you said. I think I'm going to follow her this Thursday. My neighbor Wade has offered to let me borrow his car so she won't recognize me. I'll update after Thursday, I guess. Now for the first update. Well, I don't even know where to start. First, thanks to everyone who commented on my last post. I read every single comment. Most of you told me to follow her. Some said confront her directly, and a few of you told me to just talk to her parents. So yeah, I followed her last Thursday. My neighbor Wade let me borrow his car, so she wouldn't recognize me. I borrowed Wade's car and followed her when she left for pottery class. And guess what? She didn't go to any art studio. She drove straight to the Westlake Hotel, the same hotel bar Andrea mentioned seeing her at. I watched her walk into the lobby dressed up. Then like 5 minutes later, this guy walks in. Well-dressed, expensive watch, and I recognized him. It was Tyler, her boss. The one who's been dangling this promotion in front of her for like a year. They hugged for too long in the lobby. I could see through the big windows. Then they went into the restaurant together. I just sat there, in the parking lot. I don't know what possessed me, but I actually went inside, told the hostess I was waiting for someone at the bar and sat where I could see them, but they couldn't see me. They were holding hands across the table, laughing. She looked so happy, happier than she's been with me in I don't know how long. After dinner, they went up to a room together. I sat in Wade's car for 3 hours, just waiting. When they finally came out, I took pictures on my phone of them kissing in the parking lot before she got in her car. I don't know why I took pictures. Evidence, I guess, or maybe I needed proof for myself that I wasn't crazy. This wasn't a one-time thing either. For the past 3 weeks, I've been following her every Thursday. Same routine, different outfits, same hotel, same room number. I watched which floor the elevator stopped at through the lobby windows. I've been documenting everything, times, locations, taking pictures. It's so messed up that I'm the one who feels creepy here. I checked our phone records online. Hundreds of texts between her and a number I didn't recognize. Mostly late at night when she said she was working. I looked up the number. It's him. When she was in the shower yesterday, I checked her email. We've always known each other's passwords for emergencies, her words. Found hotel reservations going back 4 months. The pottery class thing only started 3 months ago, so this has been going on even longer than I thought. And here's the really sick part. I think her being extra affectionate the mornings after. It wasn't guilt. I think she was just happy and trying to keep me from being suspicious, using sex to distract me. How twisted is that? She's been talking about this dinner with her parents when they visit for our anniversary next week. Keeps saying she wants to show them how well we're doing together. Now I realize she just wants to make sure they keep paying our mortgage. It's all about the money with her. Always has been. The most insane part. Sometimes I still find myself making excuses for her. Like maybe they really are just friends and I'm misinterpreting everything. Even though I literally saw them go into a hotel room together and kiss. Or maybe it's just physical and doesn't mean anything. Even though I saw her emails where she tells him she loves him, what the fuck is wrong with me? Yesterday when she was getting ready to leave for pottery, which is today, I asked her if she was excited for pottery. She said yes and claimed they were glazing their pieces today. When I asked for the studio name, she said Creative Clay Works. I asked where it was located, saying I might want to check it out. She got defensive and asked why I was interrogating her. When I mentioned I couldn't find any studio with that name online, she said she was running late and left. We still haven't talked about it. She came home around 11 p.m. and went straight to bed claiming she was tired. What really pisses me off is the situation with her parents. They've been paying our mortgage for 3 years while preaching about family values and fidelity. Richard, her dad, once lectured me about being a real provider and standing on my own 2 feet while he was writing a check for our mortgage payment. And Stephanie just sat there letting him talk to me like that. They've invited us to their conservative church a bunch of times. They're always talking about the sanctity of marriage and other bullshit, and all while their daughter is cheating on me every week. It makes me sick. I don't know what to do next. Part of me wants to confront Stephanie directly. Part of me wants to contact Tyler's wife. Yeah, I found out he's married through some social media digging. Part of me wants to tell her parents everything. And part of me just wants to file for divorce immediately. The anniversary dinner with her parents is next week. Stephanie's been planning it like crazy. She even bought new fancy dishes we can't afford. She's trying to impress them so much it's pathetic. I'm leaning toward a specific plan though. I think her parents should know exactly what kind of marriage they're supporting with their money. I think they should know what their daughter does while preaching about family values, especially since they're always judging me for not being good enough for their precious daughter. Now for the second update. So, it's been a couple weeks since my last post, and I basically followed the advice most of you gave me. I've been gathering more evidence instead of confronting Stephanie right away. Our anniversary dinner with her parents was scheduled for last night. 6 years married. Yay us, I guess. And Stephanie has been acting even weirder lately, like she's either super affectionate with me or completely distant. There's no in-between anymore. One minute she's suggesting we take a weekend trip together. The next, she's locked in the bathroom texting for an hour. It's giving me whiplash. She's also been obsessively cleaning the house for her parents' visit. She made me help her repaint a wall in the living room that had a tiny scuff on it. Bought new hand towels for the guest bathroom, new wine glasses, new placemats. It's like she's trying to create this perfect image of our life together. The really messed up part. Last week, she casually mentioned that her dad was considering paying off our entire mortgage as an investment in our future. She said this while chopping vegetables for dinner like it was no big deal. I had to excuse myself to the bathroom because I felt sick. Her parents were about to pay off our entire house while she's sleeping with her boss every Thursday. How fucked up is that? And to the person who commented that maybe I was misinterpreting things and they were just work friends. Yeah, work friends don't get hotel rooms together and make out in the parking lot. I literally have pictures. I kept following her on Thursdays. Yesterday was the 4th time. Same routine. Hotel, Tyler, dinner, hotel room. Coming home late, claiming she was having drinks with the class. I've got so many photos at this point. Also did some digging on social media and found out Tyler isn't just married. His wife is pregnant with their 3rd kid. There are pictures all over her Instagram of their family and her baby bump, and them at church with their other kids. The guy is cheating on his pregnant wife, and Stephanie knows this. I saw texts where they talked about the baby and how things are hard right now. Didn't stop them from getting a hotel room though. I've been falling apart physically. Lost like 10 pounds in the last couple weeks, can't sleep, having these weird chest pains that are probably anxiety attacks. I'm so behind on work projects, my boss sent me an email asking if everything was okay. Stephanie actually commented that I looked under the weather but didn't seem genuinely concerned. Just told me to take some vitamins so I wouldn't get her sick before the big dinner. Oh, and get this. She had the nerve to ask me to take out a small loan for home improvements before her parents visited. Said we need to look successful to impress them. Nothing is real. I almost lost it right there, but somehow managed to say we couldn't afford more debt right now, even though apparently her dad was going to pay off our house. I should mention I'm not completely innocent here. I've been going through her phone whenever I can, checking her emails, reading her texts with Tyler. I know that's like a huge invasion of privacy, but honestly, at this point, I don't even care. I'm sure some of you will call me controlling or whatever for this, but when your spouse is cheating, I think the privacy rules change. Last week, I overheard her on the phone with Tyler. She was in the bathroom, but I could hear through the door. They weren't breaking up. They were just discussing how to continue their affair more carefully. Apparently, someone from their office spotted them having lunch together and made a comment. I also found her looking at expensive jewelry online. She left the browser open on her laptop. She was expecting an anniversary gift from me, despite everything. Don't worry, I didn't buy her anything. So the anniversary dinner happened last night. Here's how it went down. Stephanie's parents arrived around 6 p.m. with champagne and these expensive gifts. Her dad made a big toast about family values and commitment, while I just stood there trying not to throw up. Her mom kept complimenting our house and saying how proud they were to invest in our future by helping with the mortgage. The most surreal part, Stephanie had this pottery piece on display that she claimed she made in class. I recognized it immediately from an Etsy shop. I Googled beginner pottery pieces last week. She bought the thing online and was passing it off as her own work. Her parents were praising her, and she just loved it. I was sitting there thinking I was in some kind of twisted alternate reality. I barely made it through dinner. Richard kept talking about how someday I could join their family business once I proved myself. Then Stephanie started talking about how we're thinking of starting a family soon. I almost choked on my steak. This was the first I'd heard of any baby plans. We haven't discussed having kids in at least 2 years. Then it happened. Diane mentioned seeing Stephanie's colleague Tyler and his pregnant wife at church last Sunday. Said they looked like a beautiful, devoted family. Stephanie nearly choked on her wine but recovered quickly, saying Tyler's very family-oriented. I had to excuse myself to the kitchen, claiming I needed to check on dessert, but really I was fighting back tears. I'm not even a crier usually, but something about it all just got to me. After her parents left, Stephanie was so excited talking about her dad's offer to pay off our mortgage and her mom's hints about grandchildren. Something inside me just snapped. I didn't say anything though. I just nodded along while feeling really angry. When she went to bed, I stayed up all night compiling everything I'd gathered. I created this comprehensive file with all the evidence. Photos of them together, screenshots of texts, hotel receipts, timeline of the affair, everything. I wrote a letter to her parents explaining exactly what their daughter has been doing while they've been paying our mortgage. I emphasized how their money was supporting a home where their daughter was sleeping with a married man who has a pregnant wife. This morning, I found out her parents were going to their weekly bridge club with friends. I drove to their house while they were gone and left the package in their mailbox with "Important Family Matter" written on it. I knew they'd find it when they got home. Then I turned off my phone, packed a bag, and went to Wade's lake cabin to process everything. Wade's been amazing through all this, by the way. Thanks to everyone who asked about him in the comments. I came back home after about 24 hours and found 28 missed calls. From Stephanie, her parents, her sister, random numbers I didn't recognize, even one from Tyler. When I walked in the door, Stephanie was hysterical. Turns out her parents had opened the package during their bridge club in front of all their friends. There was a huge scene where her dad started yelling and her mom started crying. They drove straight to our house to confront Stephanie, told her they were stopping all financial support immediately. According to what she screamed at me, Tyler's wife also found out somehow. I think her dad called her. And now Tyler has blocked Stephanie's number. Her position at work is also in jeopardy because there's some policy about relationships between managers and subordinates. So basically, I destroyed her entire life in one day. Her parents aren't speaking to her. Tyler dumped her. Her job is at risk, and we can't afford our mortgage without her parents' help. She's staying at her sister's house now. The bank already sent a mortgage default warning. Apparently, we were already behind on payments, which I didn't even know. I'm sitting in our empty house wondering what the hell happens next. Part of me feels vindicated. These people have been judging me for years while their precious daughter was living a complete lie. But another part of me feels empty. Like, was this worth it? Our entire marriage was built on lies. I'm not even sure who I've been married to this whole time.